He wanted in. They shut the door. And now the whispers coming out of the Avengers Doomsday set are brutal. Ryan Reynolds allegedly demanded top-tier money for a cameo nobody asked for, and the veteran cast said no. Not let's negotiate. No. Sources say Robert Downey Jr., Chris Hemsworth, and the rest of the old guard looked at his track record and decided they didn't need the drama. This isn't a rumor about a scheduling conflict. This is a snub. And once you see the pattern behind it, you'll understand exactly why they closed the door on him. Hey everyone, welcome back to Amelia Brown. Today we're breaking down the Ryan Reynolds Avengers rejection, the demand, the refusal, and the years of behavior that got him here. Let's get into it.
I've had enough help over enough years to actually just say, oh, that's just awful, destructive behavior. You're entertaining in your head, you know?
People are hoping that we might get to see Spider-Man and Deadpool team up. Not asking you to confirm or deny any of that, but let's say it does happen.
Yeah.
Do you have any tips on how Tom should deal with Ryan Reynolds?
I don't know who is Ryan Reynolds.
Weird to be in Deadpool, to be in a Marvel movie that's opening.
I keep hearing I'm in it. I'm excited to see it.
Get those residuals.
Yeah, that's right. I don't know about that.
Ryan Reynolds has reportedly been confronted for pulling off one of the most unsuccessful magic tricks of his career, trying to buy his way into Avengers, Doomsday. Hollywood has known for years what Ryan really is underneath the branding, and insiders say the veteran cast didn't need to guess. They just looked at his track record. When Ryan allegedly tried to negotiate his way into the movie, demanding top-tier money for a cameo nobody was asking for, the response wasn't a counteroffer. It was a wall. You don't get to buy your way into a legacy you spent years mocking from the outside.
Doomsday.
I've seen so many people come before me and lose themselves, and I've had friends that I've grown up with that aren't friends of mine anymore because they've lost themselves to this business.
The MCU is in a transition phase right now, and the original actors who built it hold real influence. A protective instinct over the stories they spent a decade forming. These are people who did the press tours, built the emotional weight, earned the trust of the fanbase the hard way. So when Ryan showed up expecting the old guard to simply step aside and hand him a spotlight, the response was immediate distance. Every cast member reportedly tried to keep him at arm's length, making sure production only gave him a few seconds of screen time. You can't skip a decade of earning it and expect a franchise built on loyalty to just make room.
Projects.
If you want to be endlessly miserable, be a competitive actor. You know what I mean? If you want to kind of find peace with this industry, you got to kind of put that down. Save it for Boggle. You know what I mean? But when it comes to this industry, I got to say, I don't consider myself at all competitive. I actually feel like a real champion of the other people in my profession.
Here's the part that should really worry Ryan. This isn't just one group of actors having a bad reaction. Insiders say people in the industry have watched this exact play from him 1,000 times. Producers have noticed the same routine in movie after movie. Actors who've worked with him understand what's coming before he even shows up. When an entire industry starts recognizing your pattern before you open your mouth, that's not bad luck. That's a reputation you built one project at a time. When the whole industry can predict your next move, you stop being unpredictable a long time ago.
Constantly.
What the shit?
To really understand why the industry is turning on Ryan, look at the actor doing the exact opposite of everything he represents, Cillian Murphy. Where Ryan treats acting like a stepping stone to a business empire, Murphy treats it as a lifelong craft. From Peaky Blinders to his Oscar-winning turn in Oppenheimer, he disappears into the work. He takes brutal, demanding roles. He does not phone it in. And while Ryan abandoned indie films the second Mississippi Grind failed to make money, Murphy still takes small independent projects out of pure respect for the art. He once accepted a role in a short film without even reading the script first. One man chases the paycheck. The other man chases the craft. Only one of them is still respected for it. The difference isn't just talent. It's how they treat the business itself. Ryan turns every single press tour into a sales pitch, whether it's phone plans or his wife's hair products. You cannot escape him. Cillian Murphy, meanwhile, refuses to be a sellout. No sponsored posts. No forcing himself into your feed. He even called the modern Hollywood press tour a broken, exhausting model built for viral soundbites instead of real conversation about the craft, and he said it without needing the attention that comment brought him. One of them lets the work speak. The other one needs a
Energy to
billboard.
the screen.
We're up against
Ryan Reynolds this week, and I'm not a smack talker. I'm not going to say, Ryan, eat my pig skin or any of that stuff. Honestly, I'm praying for you. I wish you the best of luck. We'll see you on the field, my brother. We're all in this together.
And this is the part that really lands. People in this industry, when they talk about not being competitive, about being genuine champions of their peers rather than rivals chasing spotlight, that contrast makes Ryan's approach look even more transactional by comparison. When the culture around you is built on collaboration and respect, showing up with a price tag and a demand for screen time doesn't just clash. It exposes exactly what you were never part of. When everyone around you is playing a different game, it's not paranoia to notice you're the only one keeping score. Superhero fatigue is a real industry problem. Spielberg himself warned about overexposure years ago, and insiders say Ryan represents the peak of it. The panic behind this Avengers confrontation makes even more sense once you look at the financial reality closing in on him. The doors that used to fly open are starting to shut, and that's reportedly pushing him toward exactly the kind of high-priced cameo grab that actors like Robert Downey Jr. and Chris Hemsworth are said to find tacky. When the doors start closing, some people knock politely. Others try to buy the door down.
Offensive.
Hey Ryan Reynolds, what's up, man? Saw that you got your mum to trash talk me, say some horrible things about me, so got my dad here to say a few things about you. You hate him, he's
I didn't say that.
You did. You said you're the worst actor, your least favourite Canadian in the whole world. It's not ridiculous. This is what we talked about. And you said you hate aviation gin because it's disgusting.
Even the friendly public energy around Ryan can't paper over the numbers. His movie, If, was supposed to be a 4-quadrant family blockbuster. A $110 million budget, backed by Paramount, expected to spawn a new franchise. It needed to gross around $250 million just to break even. It made $190.3 million. It landed a rough 47% on Rotten Tomatoes. Audiences called it messy and unfunny, and insiders say the industry took note. Ryan Reynolds' name alone is no longer enough to justify a 9-figure bet. A star's name is only as strong as the last box office check it wrote, and his has been bouncing. Even outside the box office numbers, the contrast between these two men tells the whole story. Ryan is always performing. Brightly colored outfits built for maximum attention, always camera ready, every single moment treated like a marketing opportunity he can't afford to waste. Cillian Murphy represents the opposite of all that. His off-camera style is effortless, clean lines, well-cut wool coats, heritage fabrics that focus on craftsmanship instead of logos. When he walks a red carpet, it's classic European tailoring, Prada, Saint Laurent, Alexander McQueen. His Oscar look, a charcoal wool suit with a satin peak lapel, was a masterclass in understated confidence. He doesn't need a logo to feel important. His work does the talking. One man dresses to be seen. The other dresses like he's already arrived. When directors and insiders line these two careers up side by side, Ryan's money-grabbing tactics start looking desperate rather than clever. Murphy's career proves you don't need to sell out, ruin relationships, or force your way into someone else's franchise to stay relevant. You just have to be exceptional at the job. He won the Oscar. He led one of the most-watched television shows of the decade. He earns respect in every room he walks into, and he never once needed a phone plan endorsement to do it. That comparison is exactly why insiders say the panic in Ryan's camp is justified. The data increasingly suggests he isn't an A-list draw anymore, no matter how many feeds his team buys their way into. When your industry foil becomes proof of what you could have been, that's not a rivalry, that's a verdict. Here's the real turning point. Back in 2015, Ryan starred in Mississippi Grind, a gritty character drama that earned a 91% certified fresh score. Real acclaim, real proof he had range. It was supposed to be his breakout into serious acting. Then the box office numbers came in, a $7.1 million budget that pulled in barely anything at all. From that point forward, insiders say he essentially walked away from serious acting altogether and retreated into high-paying, low-effort roles. He chose the paycheck over the craft permanently. Some actors bounce back from a flop. He decided never to risk one again. And the jokes online only go so far before the real stories underneath start surfacing. Long before Avengers, there was reportedly serious tension on the set of Blade Trinity with Wesley Snipes, who refused to interact with him normally. T.J. Miller, who played Weasel in the first 2 Deadpool films, later said Ryan became a different person once he had power, arrogant, disrespectful, to the point Miller said he'd never work with him again. Add in the reported use of police connections to have a paparazzi photographer arrested on charges that later got dropped, and a pattern starts forming that goes well beyond just jokes. You can survive one bad story from one co-star. You can't survive the same story from 3 different sets. And insiders say the pattern doesn't stop with actors his own size. The claims describe him playing both sides of the industry at once, punching down at the little guys while working overtime to stay in the good books of the biggest names in the room. Sources say the Avengers cast reportedly knew he'd leak information to the press to make himself look more relevant, and even tried to use his influence to shape dialogue that wasn't his to touch. Combine that with the Wesley Snipes tension, the T.J. Miller fallout, and the recent situation involving Justin Baldoni, and you start to see why his peers describe him as someone who tramples on smaller talent while climbing toward the top. You can't build trust in a room when everyone already knows you'll sell them out for the story. For years, Ryan built a brand as the funny, relatable Canadian guy who never took himself too seriously. But insiders say the public mood has shifted hard. People are describing him now as desperate, overexposed, and obsessed with controlling the narrative around him. The non-stop Mint Mobile ads, the endless Disney Plus cross-promotion, the aggressive media presence. Audiences aren't just tired of seeing him, they're actively annoyed by him. And when it ends with a scandal hit alongside Blake Lively, the goodwill wasn't there to protect him anymore. People didn't defend him, they piled on. You can oversell yourself for years and get away with it, until the one week nobody's buying anymore. Here's the part his team probably didn't see coming. His publicity machine has reportedly tried everything to bring back the friendly, funny Canadian guy people used to love. Surprise appearances, planned relatable moments, the whole playbook. But insiders say none of it is landing anymore. People are calling the comeback attempts exactly what they look like: forced. Google search sensitivity around his name has reportedly gotten worse, not better, and his publicity team hasn't found a way to turn it around. He's still rich. That was never really the point. What he's reportedly losing now is something no amount of money can just buy back: trust, goodwill, and the benefit of the doubt. You can rebuild a bank account overnight. You can't rebuild trust with a press release. So here's where it stands. A demand for top-tier money on a Cameo nobody wanted. A wall of silence from the actors who built this franchise. A career pattern of flops, feuds, and paycheck chasing that stretches back over a decade. And a public that finally seems done giving him the benefit of the doubt. So tell me, after everything you just heard, do you think Ryan can actually come back from this Avengers snub? Or is this the moment his brand finally caught up with him? Drop your thoughts in the comments. I want to hear where you land on this. If you enjoyed this breakdown, hit like, subscribe if you're new here, and turn on notifications so you never miss the next one. This is Amelia Brown. I'll see you in the next video.